From the Virgil, a production of the A&A Media Group and Consider It Done Productions. Award-winning, aging, and awesome. Here are your hosts, Kai Sisson and Aaron Breen.
Welcome back to Aging and Awesome. We are so thankful that you're here. We're coming to you again from the Virgil in Reno. Hello to our live studio audience.
Yay! You know, it's kind of hard for me to believe that we could draw a crowd.
Me too. And they come. Thank you for coming.
I'm so pleased that we have.
Absolutely, because we have such a great show ahead. Here's what's coming up. The grumpy old men, they're far less grumpy and far more talented than you might think by their name. They are keeping fans happy and flourishing their own memories every time they get together. Joe is back to bring us that story. Plus, Dr. David Freeman with the Reno Eye Institute is here to tell us what to watch out for in eye health as we age. And of course, we'll take a spin in my cab.
But first, October is Residents' Rights Month. This is the month that we check in on those living in long-term care just to make sure that they're being treated with dignity and respect. And this is also a chance to kind of assess long-term care from all the perspectives. Long-term care covers a range of residents, from those who need just a little bit of help to those who need a lot. And this population in long-term care is growing, not just here in Northern Nevada, but nationwide as our entire society ages. So how do we assess exactly where we are now and where we're headed? Well, Kai is about to tell us.
Joining us now is Jennifer Williams Woods. She is the State Long-Term Care Ombudsman with the Nevada Aging and Disability Services Division. Jennifer, this is such an important time, Residents' Rights Month. People don't know they have rights inside nursing homes and long-term care facilities. First and foremost, what do you do? What does an ombudsman do?
I manage the Long-Term Care Ombudsman program, and my staff are advocates for those residing in long-term care facilities. So skilled nursing facilities, assisted livings or group homes, and homes for individual residential care. So we visit with the residents on a regular basis, address issues then, and then we also receive issues from the community, complaints. And so we go in and work with the residents with their consent to address those issues.
Now, people at home that are watching might be watching from a long-term care facility. Maybe you have a family member in a long-term care facility and you have rights. What are those rights?
They vary. It's the things that we kind of take for granted living kind of on the outside, so to speak. And so the right to choose when we go to bed, the right to participate in our own care, those types of things are issues and rights that residents have in long-term care facilities. So they're important, so we want to make sure that the facilities, while some may consider them institutions, we want them to be home-like. And so again, we have rights in our own homes, and residents should have rights in their own homes and be able to do what they want. And so while their address may be in a long-term care facility, it still should be a home for them.
Absolutely. We don't recognize that really living, like you said, on the outside, but when you have a family member or you're inside, it's so important to remember that an ombudsman is there advocating for you. And Jennifer, you might remember a year ago or so, we did a story on COVID and how people in long-term care facilities have been greatly affected by the coronavirus. How has people's rights, if at all, changed during COVID?
It changed to save them from contracting COVID. And so there were limits on visitation, limits on whether or not they could go out in the community. Those rights that they had previously were a little bit diminished during that time frame, and still rightly so at this point with the rise of the Delta variant. And so we're really trying to get back and focused on enabling those rights and making sure that they can do some things with minimal risk.
What are some of those things that are being allowed? Are things going back to normal at all, or not really?
It's getting there. It kind of, right now, the guidance from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services gave guidance to skilled nursing facilities. And so it kind of depends on the communities that those facilities are currently in. And so if there's a less than 10% positivity rate and the facility, both staff and residents, at 70% vaccination rate, visitation can occur no problem. But once those variables change, if one lowers or decreases, then those restrictions may be placed on visitation. But we're really focused on not only can visitors come into the facility, but can we still do the window visits using tablets, visitation booths, those types of things. And the Ombudsman program has helped to get tablets in the hands of the facilities and the visitation booths as well.
We know how important it is that all people have interaction with other people, and the Ombudsman have done a great job advocating for people in long-term care facilities. Make sure they still get that, and that's been amazing, and I'm so thankful for what you guys have done. Plus, people can get in touch with you, right? If they have a concern, how do people at home do that?
We have a helpline that folks can call, and we have it staffed Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, but folks can leave a message. So that number is 1-888-282-1155.
Thank you so much for all you do. And during this Residents' Rights Month, let's all be sure to advocate for our older friends in long-term care facilities. Jennifer Williams-Woods, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kai. Now, don't go away because there's so much still to come. We've got eye health. It's always important, but you're going to want to watch for certain changes as we age. Reno Eye Institute's Dr. David Freeman is going to be here to explain that a little bit later on. And Joe is here and says that you don't want to miss the grumpy old men. But first, we reconvene at Club Green right after this short break.
Thinking about moving or downsizing? You should meet my good friend, Marsha Rambo, with Realty One Group Eminence. With over 35 years experience, if you're looking for a home that better fits your lifestyle, Marsha is the right person for you.
Thanks, Joe. My name is Marsha Rambo, and I've been advocating for seniors for decades, specializing in helping older people find the right home during every stage of life.
Call Marsha today and tell her I sent you.
Eden Home Health is Northern Nevada's highest rated home health for quality of patient care. You have a choice. Ask your doctor for the best in-home health care, Eden Home Health. And Eden Hospice. The personalized care team at Eden Hospice is dedicated to focusing on your loved one's quality of life during a difficult time. Eden Hospice's mission is to ensure dignity for every patient. Find out how Eden Hospice can help your family by calling 841-6123.
I'm a former football player from the 60s, and believe me, I know Medicare.
Wait a minute, this guy doesn't know which Medicare plan is best for you. He teases benefits that may not even be in our area. And then, when you call, someone in a cubicle across the country sells you something. The Medicare Store team lives here and works here. They give free, unbiased, personal Medicare advice. Trust the Medicare Store, not the football guy. Come on by or visit themedicarestore.com. There. Coffee. Ooh, hardly a day goes by that I don't enjoy it. And I am not alone with that at all. Now, I make it here at home, and with that, I absolutely am alone these days. Did you know that more than 15,000 Starbucks are located right here in the United States? That's just Starbucks. According to the National Coffee Association, and yes, there is a National Coffee Association, coffee is now a $96 billion a year industry here. And I know that I'm not the only one who's noticed that people line up for it. That's right, 150 million of us drink an estimated 400 million cups of coffee every day. And you know what? We will be late getting to an appointment just to get that coffee. And it's kind of like a puzzle, whether it's a cappuccino, a latte, just a straight espresso, a flat white, or even an Americano, we are willing to line up and wait for it. And we will pay anywhere from $2.99 to $6 for it without even batting an eye. Now, sure, you can spend a lot more than that, but those are the very, very basics if you go out for coffee. Now, call me a little old-fashioned, but I remember when it was nearly free. Just came to the table when you went to a diner or into a restaurant. They kept filling it up. But coffee, it has become its own empire these days. And while I will tell you that getting coffee out is kind of a luxury, at least for me, it is the norm for a lot of folks out there. And it's something that they've built into their budgets. So I'm not going to rain on anybody's caffeine parade. I say enjoy. But I'll probably stick to making my own here at my house and just kind of chuckling when I see those long lines waiting for their coffee. For Aging and Awesome, I'm Erin Breen.
Reconvene with Erin Breen is presented by the Medicare Store. The Medicare store is local and gives free, unbiased, personal Medicare advice. Visit the Medicare store today.
At Reno Eye Institute, you'll get the attention you deserve from a doctor who cares.
I came in to see Dr. Freeman at Reno Eye Institute because I was able to get in and see him right away, and that was very important to me. From the moment I met Dr. Freeman, I felt that he really cared about me. He cared about my eyes and cared about me as a person.
At Reno Eye Institute, our focus is you.
Now accepting new patients. Call Reno Eye Institute today at 451-7268.
Do you or a loved one live in a nursing home? Do you know that you have rights? All residents have rights guaranteed by the Federal Nursing Home Reform Law. They include the right to be treated with dignity and respect, to privacy, and to develop a comprehensive plan of care with the staff. Other rights include the right to be fully informed about care and treatment options and to file grievances. There are protections in case of involuntary discharge or transfer. Know your rights. For more information about residents' rights or questions or concerns, contact your Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. They are advocates that promote and protect the rights of residents in licensed long-term care facilities. Visit www.theconsumervoice.org for more information. That's www.theconsumervoice.org. theconsumervoice.org.
The Better Business Bureau investigates and reports on scams that hurt consumers through the BBB Scam Tracker website. Here, some people share their stories, and others educate themselves. And together, we empower our community.
Health Benefits Associates, your Medicare experts here in Northern Nevada, with offices here in Reno, Sparks, and the Carson Valley.
Every day, we are teaching people how to master their own Medicare, like us. There are so many plans available, like Senior Care Plus, Prominence, AARP, and more. Not every plan is going to work for your needs, and we want to help you understand why. Come join us today to learn which Medicare plan is meant for you.
Welcome back to Aging and Awesome. If you've ever been at the Senior Center in Reno on a Wednesday morning, you probably found yourself tapping your toes. I mean, it's hard not to when the Grumpy Old Men are playing, and they have been there every Wednesday for years, with the exception of a few weeks during the pandemic when no one was allowed to be there.
But when Paul Maris, who's the band leader, got a call, you know, that call that said they could start playing again, they didn't hesitate for a second. They had not even rehearsed, but they did show up with their instruments to do exactly what they do. Because you know what? They get as much out of playing as those listening get out of it.
And you know who is very, very excited about the Grumpy Old Men and is there every chance she gets? Our very own Joe Della Ripa. Have a look.
It's hard to hear those old ballads and not think of simpler times. And it's hard not to tap your toes. These are the Grumpy Old Men, and they play at the Senior Center in Reno every Wednesday. I love listening to them. This gives everyone within earshot a bounce in their step, and it does a lot for those playing too.
Hi, I'm Paul Maris, leader of the Grumpy Old Men. Everybody in the band is at least 65, except Larry. He's probably in his late 50s. Frank, the drummer's in his 90s.
Wow.
But I'm 87, catching up to Frank. Nick is in his 70s, that's the tenor player. The trombone player, Barry, he won't tell me how old he is, so I don't know. I can only guess.
My name is Larry Boland. I play the trumpet.
In a way, this is his way of keeping the old standards alive.
There's a zillion great songs that we never hear anymore.
But every Wednesday, they get a bit of play right here.
I had a trumpet I haven't touched in 20 years, and getting my lips back and really tired right now, but they're coming back a little bit. And what I get out of it is it's fun to play the old horn again that I haven't touched in a couple of decades, really. And to play, to read the music, to make it all happen at the same time, it's good for the mind.
Like many of these musicians, tenor sax player Nick has dedicated his life to music, specifically the tenor sax.
Oh, I wanted to play one since before I could say the word, and my dad got me one when I was, 10? And nobody told me it wasn't fun to practice, so I was up every morning and before everybody else practicing. And it's just, this was an obsession, it always has been.
And he's still a music educator, passing on his love of playing because he can see how the crowd enjoys it.
Well, I tell you, what I like best is when they bring in the people that were in the front here, they're a little lower functioning, and then watching them bounce around and get pumped up, I like that more than anything. It's something to look forward to.
Art moved here from Southern California, and it didn't take him long to find his way to his fellow musicians.
I enjoy playing, yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, I just enjoy playing. That's the other part. Oh yeah, playing with a group and you get to know the other guys and stuff, and you have a lot in common, and we always have fun.
And they don't show any signs of slowing down.
Well, my wife says I'll die at the piano.
Well, let's hope that isn't anytime soon. For Aging and Awesome, I'm Joe Della Ripa. I love the Grumpy Old Men. I've been coming down here every single Wednesday for 10 years, and I always enjoy the music. I love dancing. I love the people that come here, and everybody's having a wonderful time. Thank you, Grumpies. I love you.
Thank you, Joe. She sure looks like she's having a lot of fun, doesn't she?
She absolutely does. And I'm going to say, how could you not have fun? And how can you keep from tapping your toes? Because all those guys, they are great, and you can catch them at 10 o'clock at the Senior Center on Wednesdays.
Now don't go away. I've got a new passenger in the hot seat in my cab. And as if aging didn't come with enough challenges, we'll tell you what to be watching out for to keep your eyesight healthy as we age. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Even with more than 1 million people cared for by hospice each year, the decision to call hospice is never easy. However, at Infinity Hospice Care, many families tell us they wish they would have contacted us sooner. And with hospice being covered by Medicare and most insurance, the decision to get your loved ones the help they need is even easier. Plus, the registered nurses at Infinity Hospice Care are available 24/7. To learn if we can help, go to infinityhospicecare.com.
Welcome back to Aging and Awesome. We're joined now by Dr. David Freeman, who's with the Reno Eye Institute. Thanks so much for coming in. We got so many questions to be asking, and we knew you'd be the guy with the answers for all of this. Now, you're an ophthalmologist, and everyone should go in and get a checkup once a year. Does that become more important as we age?
Yes, absolutely. So believe it or not, there are many different conditions that affect the eye. Things from rheumatoid arthritis to thyroid disease to diabetes. And a lot of times we're able to pick those up with an eye exam. What I tell people usually is that once you hit the age of 60, it's a good idea to get at least a baseline eye exam so you know where you're at. There are lots of different things that affect us as we have more and more birthdays, as they say.
Yeah.
Things like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration. Those things start cropping up more prevalently when we're in our 60s, especially things like cataracts.
Well, you know, that's something I read here. Is everybody gets cataracts eventually? I didn't realize it was one more thing to worry about. Everybody gets them?
This is true. It's like wrinkles. So cataract is a cloudiness in the lens inside the eye. And if you live long enough, you're gonna get a cataract. The things we look out for with cataracts, you can have blurred vision. Things might seem hard that you need to do on a day-to-day basis, like reading, driving. Sometimes people complain of glare or halos around lights at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a frequent change in glasses. That can be a big sign that the cataracts are progressing maybe more rapidly than we'd like, but nonetheless, Everyone does get cataracts.
One more thing, wrinkles and cataracts. I can't wait.
I have a lot to look forward to.
So you are a cataract surgeon.
Correct.
Does that set you apart here?
Not necessarily. So I do cataract surgery, but I'm also what's considered a comprehensive eye surgeon. So I do a bit of everything inside the eye. Not only do I treat cataracts, but I treat things like macular degeneration, diabetes in the eye. So I'm more of a one-stop shop, if you will, in eye surgery, which is uncommon nowadays. In medicine in general, it's usually very subspecialized. For instance, if you're even a radiologist, you're either doing brain radiology or bone radiology or something very specialized. And that's how it is in medical care nowadays. I do have a specialty in medical retina, again, treating diseases of the back of the eye, but I kept it broad so that my patients really just have one place to go for most things in order to get their eye care.
Yeah. I think we should ask, has anybody got any questions that have to do with eye care that they would like to ask? Oh, George.
So, how is your vision affected by your general health?
So once again, there are many different disease processes that can affect the eye. For instance, let's say you had diabetes and it was maybe not as well controlled as you'd like it to be. When I look inside somebody's eye, I can see blood vessel damage inside the retina, which is the back layering of the eye. And that can be blinding to a lot of people. That's just one instance. Another instance, let's say you had high blood pressure and the blood pressure was out of control. I can also see blood vessel changes there inside the eye. Another example is rheumatoid arthritis. So lots of people suffer from that, children, adults, all together. One of the things I can see inside the eye is inflammation that can be treatable with medicine inside the eye if you had that inflammation.
You're like a fortune teller. You can see what's coming. I mean, that's interesting. You can see what's coming.
I wouldn't say that, but certainly we can see into the body, if you will, by looking into someone's eye.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Freeman, Dr. David Freeman, who's with the Reno Eye Institute. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Breen and Dr. Freeman. Now don't you go anywhere. Coming up, we'll take a spin in my cab and see if my latest passenger is up on their trivia.
Life is story. Pages of amazing adventure and narrow escapes. Bold steps taken, races run, chapters on love and hard lessons and new beginnings. Your life, your legacy, our privilege to serve. Morningstar Senior Living.
Living at Lakeside Manor, an independent senior living community in the heart of Reno, means pleasure for the residents and peace of mind for their families. Rooms are available now, starting at $15.80 a month. Take a tour of Lakeside Manor today.
If you're 64 or 65 and newly eligible for Medicare, you only have a few months to enroll, or you may incur a late enrollment penalty. By understanding Medicare now, you'll have time to get a full picture of the choices that are right for you. Join experts from Senior Care Plus for a free ABCs of Medicare seminar to learn about Medicare and the options available to you. Sign up at seniorcareplus.com or call 775-982-3158 today.
Welcome back to Aging and Awesome, and welcome to Kai's Cab. Today we have a brand new contestant. Who's back there?
Judy Reed.
Judy Reed, welcome to Kai's Cab.
How
are you?
Thank you. I'm good, I think.
Having fun today?
I am.
You're happy, healthy, active, ready to go?
As far as I know, yes.
As far as I know. Well, welcome to Kai's Cab. Have you seen the show before?
Once.
Once? Good. Well, now you're going to watch because you're going to be on TV, right?
That's okay, I guess.
Well, here's the rules. Judy, get 3 out of 4 questions right today, and you're a winner of a fantastic prize. We have chocolate from the chocolate shop in Gardnerville for you, but you got to get 3 out of 4 questions. You ready to play?
I guess.
Here we go, Judy. Question number 1. In which city can you find the Liberty Bell? Is it A, Washington, D.C., B, Boston, C, Philadelphia, or D, Manhattan?
I would say it was probably C.
That's correct, Judy. Remember the Liberty Bell restaurant over there by the convention center?
Oh, yes. I wish they still had it.
Me too. What a Reno classic that's been gone
That was
for a
sad
while.
to see that go.
Yeah. But anyway, Liberty Bell is in Philadelphia. Used to kind of have one here in Reno. But let's get the next two right. You're on a roll. Question number 2. Which U.S. state is known as America's Dairyland? A, Minnesota, B, Iowa, C, Pennsylvania, or D, Wisconsin?
It's either 1 or 2 or 4.
So it's either, let's see, Minnesota or Wisconsin?
Uh-huh. And I would say maybe Wisconsin?
Wisconsin is correct. America's Dairyland. Good. All right, you got to get the next one right and you win.
Okay.
In the movie Men in Black, what are the 2 FBI agents hunting? Is it A, serial killers, B, ghosts, C, aliens, or D, time travelers? Remember that movie?
Aliens?
Aliens? Do you remember the movie?
No.
Oh, so you're guessing aliens?
Yeah.
That was a good guess, Judy. Congratulations, you win.
Oh, good. Woo!
What are you going to do with your chocolate?
Probably eat it.
Duh. Good. Well, I like to ask everybody in the cab, hey, you got 15 seconds of fame to say anything you want to the world. What is it? What wisdom do you want to pass on?
I just hope everybody stays healthy.
Stays healthy, right? I agree,
Yes.
as long as you can.
Yes.
Judy, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Kai's Cab is presented by Senior Care Plus, the only Nevada-based not-for-profit Medicare Advantage plan serving Washoe County and Carson City. Senior Care Plus, for the healthiest reasons.
That's all the time we've got for this week, but we do want to thank the Virgil for having us in such a beautiful spot, and all of you for joining us.
Our challenge for you this week, if you have a friend or a loved one living in long-term care, use this week to check in with them and how they are being treated, if they have needs to be met, and if they have changes they'd like to see. After all, it is Residents' Rights Month, and it's something to keep in mind year-round. But this month is a great time to start.
Be sure to head to our website, agingandawesome.com, where we'll be posting all of the important information that we learned about today in the Featured Segments tab. And you can also subscribe to our weekly newsletter, where we'll be sending out updates on some of the local events in the area and ideas and inspiration. All of that and more, that's on our website at agingandawesome.com.
And this show would not be possible without community stakeholders who are worthy of your patronage, as they are hard at work to better the lives of seniors and their families right here in Northern Nevada. A big thank you to the Trustmasters,
the Medicare Store,
Marsha Rambo with Realty One Group Eminence,
Morningstar Senior Living of Sparks, the Better Business Bureau, Health Benefits Associates,
Eden Home Health and Eden Hospice,
Nevada Aging and Disability Services Division,
Lakeside Manor,
Infinity Hospice Care,
Reno Eye Institute, and Senior Care Plus.
You know, this really is our great pleasure to do this for Nevada seniors, so we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.